Let me tell you something raw, something most people avoid. Turning 60 doesn't just mark a birthday. It exposes the truth about who actually stands with you when the world grows quieter. When we cross 60, something subtle yet seismic happens inside us. It's not just aging. It's not just slowing down. It's the shattering realization that the support we once assumed would always be there sometimes isn't. And that realization hits with a strange mix of grief, clarity, and unexpected liberation. For most of our lives, we're taught that support comes from predictable places: family, children, old friends, the people who promise to stay. We build our identity around these expectations. We count on them. We trust them. But turning 60 has a way of unmasking reality. It shows us who shows up and who only talked about showing up. And that truth, it's both painful and powerful. Because when the noise of your earlier years fades, the career noise, the parenting noise, the survival noise, you begin to hear something else: your own emotional footsteps, your own breath, your own needs. And suddenly, the people who were supposed to be your cushion begin to reveal themselves. Some drift, some disappoint, and some completely disappear, while a few unexpected souls step in with the gentleness and honesty you always needed. 60 is not the age of losing support. It is the age of seeing support clearly. And in that clarity, something transformative happens. You start choosing yourself in ways you never dared before. You start valuing presence over promises, effort over excuses, and truth over illusion. You begin learning that genuine support isn't about who should be there. It's about who actually is. There's a moment, often quiet and almost invisible, when you start noticing the shift. People you poured years of love, energy, and sacrifice into begin to pull away, not in dramatic explosions, but in soft, subtle withdrawals. You call less, they respond less. You need help, they promise later. You reach out, they say they're busy. And suddenly, the people who once felt like anchors start feeling like ghosts. What's heartbreaking is that this withdrawal rarely comes from cruelty. It comes from convenience. Life moves fast for others. Responsibilities, routines, distractions, your presence no longer fits into their urgency. And yet, your heart remembers every moment you showed up for them, every time you said yes, even when it cost you something. Aging reveals how uneven relationships can be. But here's the hard truth: this withdrawal is not a verdict on your worth. It's a mirror reflecting the kind of connections you built, some real, many conditional. At 60, you begin to understand the painful difference between people who value you and people who benefit from you. The first group stays steady, even when your steps slow down. The second group drifts as soon as you stop being useful. And that realization, it splits you open. But inside that split is where healing begins. Because when people withdraw, it forces you to stop begging for a closeness you never truly had. It pushes you to stop handing out pieces of yourself to those who treat your presence like an optional luxury. It urges you to confront the emotional math of your relationships, what you give versus what you receive. 60 teaches you that support is not about numbers. It's not about how many people you know. It's about how many people stay when life gets quieter. There comes a day, sometimes at 60, sometimes long before, when you catch yourself in the mirror and whisper, "It's just me now," not in sadness, not in defeat, but in awakening. Because for the first time, you see clearly that the most reliable support you've ever had has been your own resilience. You remember the storms you survived, the betrayals you didn't talk about, the heartbreaks you stitched together alone, the responsibilities you carried without applause. You remember every night you cried quietly so no one else would feel burdened. You remember the sacrifices you made because love told you to, and the disappointments you swallowed because peace mattered more than being right. And suddenly, something shifts inside you. You realize that if your world were to collapse at midnight, you would be the one picking up the pieces at dawn. There is a sacred strength in that truth. At 60, you stop waiting for someone to save you. You stop assuming anyone else knows your needs better than you do. You stop depending on promises that arrive empty and support that disappears when life becomes inconvenient for others. You begin trusting the person who has never abandoned you. Not once, not ever, yourself. And this realization doesn't make you harder. It makes you softer with yourself. It makes you kinder in the ways you speak to your own soul. It makes you recognize your own courage in places you once only saw exhaustion. You start building a life where your emotional safety doesn't depend on someone showing up. They can choose to, but you're no longer broken if they don't. 60 is the age where self-reliance isn't a burden. It's a quiet, powerful liberation. One of the most surprising lessons after 60 is this: support doesn't always come from the people you expected. Sometimes it comes from people you barely noticed before. It could be a neighbor who checks in when they see your lights off for too long, a distant relative who suddenly becomes consistent with their calls, a friend you reconnected with after years of silence who ends up offering you more emotional safety than people you've known your whole life. And that's when the truth hits you. Support is not about history. It's about intention. Some people stay in your life because they love you. Some stay because you are useful. And some stay because their heart recognizes your heart, even without years of shared memories. At 60, your soul becomes wise enough to notice the difference. You begin realizing that connection isn't measured in decades. It's measured in depth. Someone you've known for 5 months can make you feel more valued than someone you've known for 50 years, because the people who truly care don't wait for a right time to show up. They feel responsible for the space they hold in your life. And this unexpected support, it feels different. It feels unforced. It feels like a soft place to land after years of being the strong one. These unexpected people don't come to take. They come to witness. They don't come to judge. They come to understand. They don't come to fill a role. They come to offer presence. At 60, you learn to appreciate these souls deeply, because they are reminders that love doesn't always arrive on schedule. Sometimes it appears exactly when your spirit is ready to receive it. And maybe, just maybe, these are the people your heart was waiting for all along. There's a quiet heartbreak that settles in around 60, a heartbreak that doesn't come from a single moment, but from a lifetime of believing loyalty was guaranteed. We grow up thinking certain people will never leave us, never drift, never disappoint. We assume blood will protect us, friendships will stay steady, and love will always be enough. But 60 teaches you something different. It teaches you that loyalty is not a birthright, it's a choice, and not everyone chooses you. Some people you expected to grow old with simply stop showing up. Their excuses pile up. Their priorities shift. They forget the promises they once made with so much warmth and certainty. And a part of you grieves, not for their departure, but for the version of yourself that believed they never would. This is the illusion you finally release. Letting go doesn't mean you stop loving them. It means you stop waiting for them. It means you accept people for who they have shown themselves to be, not who you once hoped they were. You learn to stop holding on to relationships out of habit, obligation, or nostalgia. You stop giving unearned loyalty to people who treat your heart like a second option. You stop carrying the weight of connections that only survive because you keep holding them up. 60 gives you the courage to set that weight down. And when you do, something remarkable happens. Your emotional landscape clears. You make space for people who choose you fully, consistently, without hesitation. You make room for relationships that feel like peace instead of pressure, presence instead of promises. Loyalty after 60 becomes beautifully simple. If they show up, they belong. If they don't, you let go with grace, not bitterness. Because at this stage in life, your heart deserves truth, not illusions. Something shifts profoundly after 60. You no longer want a large circle. You want a true one. You stop entertaining relationships that drain you, confuse you, or make you feel like you're auditioning for a role in someone else's life. The desire to be included fades, and the desire to be at peace takes its place. This is where intention becomes your guiding force. You start choosing the people in your life the same way you choose what you allow into your home, with care, with discernment, with awareness. You no longer keep someone close just because you've known them forever. Longevity doesn't guarantee loyalty. Shared history doesn't guarantee emotional safety. Familiarity doesn't guarantee love. At 60, you finally ask the questions you once avoided. Who makes me feel seen? Who listens without trying to fix me? Who respects my boundaries, my time, my emotional energy? Who adds softness, not noise, to my life? And slowly, intentionally, your circle begins to transform. You draw closer to the people who show up with both consistency and compassion. Those who ask how you are and actually wait for the answer. Those who hold space for your stories instead of competing with them. Those who don't disappear when your needs become inconvenient. And the ones who drain you, the ones who only reach out when they need something, the ones who make you feel small, guilty, or obligated, you let them drift. Not out of anger, but out of wisdom, because your soul finally knows the truth. Not everyone deserves access to your heart. Not everyone deserves a seat in your life. Rebuilding your circle at 60 isn't about finding more people. It's about choosing fewer, better, truer ones. There is a powerful freedom that arrives after 60, quiet at first, almost unnoticeable. But once you feel it, you never let it go. It's the freedom of no longer needing emotional validation to feel whole. You stop measuring your worth through other people's responses, and you begin to anchor yourself in something far more stable, your own truth. For much of your life, your emotions were shaped by how others treated you. Their approval lifted you. Their silence hurt you. Their inconsistency confused you. You waited for their reassurance, their affection, their presence, hoping it would make you feel secure. But 60 teaches you a lesson no book, no mentor, no life coach can fully prepare you for. Real emotional safety. It comes from inside you, not around you. You start trusting your instincts more than their opinions. You start choosing your peace over their comfort. You start listening to the small, steady voice within you, the voice you ignored for years because you were busy caring for everyone else. And for the first time, you start breathing differently. Your chest feels lighter, your boundaries feel stronger, your needs stop feeling like burdens. This is emotional independence, not the cold, bitter version people fear, but the warm, grounded kind that lets you move through life without begging for reassurance that you matter. You become your own comfort, your own home, your own calm. And the beauty of this independence is that it doesn't push people away. It draws in the ones who truly value you. Because when you no longer cling, you attract those who stay because they want to, not because they have to. Emotional independence after 60 isn't loneliness, it's liberation. It's stepping into the truest, strongest version of yourself and finally realizing you were whole all along. After 60, something remarkable happens. The noise of life finally becomes quiet enough for you to hear what your heart has been whispering for years. Peace is not a luxury, it is a necessity. And once you taste real peace, you stop tolerating anything that threatens it. You no longer entertain pointless arguments. You no longer chase people who avoid you. You no longer explain yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you. You no longer tolerate relationships that feel like emotional tug of war. You realize that peace is the first sign of a healthy life, not a passive one. It takes strength, real, grounded strength, to walk away from chaos disguised as love. It takes courage to leave conversations that bruise your spirit. It takes wisdom to stop expecting maturity from people who refuse to grow. Your priorities shift. Your heart shifts, your energy shifts. At 60, you begin choosing silence over conflict, distance over disrespect, and clarity over confusion. Not because you're tired, but because you finally learned the cost of giving your peace away. And here's the beautiful part. Choosing peace doesn't make your world smaller. It makes it purer. It makes the remaining relationships more meaningful. It makes your days softer, your nights calmer, your thoughts kinder. Peace becomes the filter through which you choose people, activities, conversations, and commitments. If it drains you, you step back. If it lifts you, you lean in. If it harms your spirit, you let it go. This is the sacred wisdom that 60 brings. You realize that peace is not the absence of noise, it's the presence of alignment. It's the moment when your inner world stops fighting your outer world. It's the quiet confidence of knowing you owe no one your chaos, but you owe yourself your calm. By the time you reach 60, you begin to understand a truth that takes decades. To fully accept family is not defined by blood. It is defined by presence, effort, and love that doesn't disappear when life gets heavy. You've spent years believing that certain people should be there for you. But 60 strips away the word should and replaces it with are. Who is here? Who is calling? Who is checking in? Who is making you feel valued, supported, and emotionally safe? These are the people who become your real family. Some share your DNA. Some don't. Some arrive unexpectedly. Some return after years. Some grow with you. Some simply show up because their heart recognizes your heart. And here's what 60 teaches you with undeniable clarity. The people who stay through your quiet days, your hard seasons, your vulnerable moments are the ones who were meant to be your home. After 60, presence means more than promises. Consistency means more than words. Effort means more than history. Even a simple message checking on your well-being can mean more than a lifetime of empty claims from those who never showed up when it mattered. You start noticing the small gestures, the soft kindnesses, the subtle ways someone says, "You matter to me." These are the souls who don't care about what you can give them. They care about you, your stories, your comfort, your peace, your heart. And you learn to pour your energy into them, not the ones who vanished when your needs grew bigger. You stop chasing and start appreciating. You stop expecting and start recognizing. You stop forcing and start receiving, because after 60, family becomes beautifully simple. It's anyone whose love acts like shelter. Here's the ending truth that 60 whispers, and it's one of the most liberating lessons you'll ever learn. The most reliable support, the one that never falters, never drifts, never disappoints, is you. By this stage, life has stripped away illusions, broken promises, and convenience-based loyalty. You've seen who shows up when it counts, who vanishes when it doesn't, and who lingers unexpectedly with genuine care. And in witnessing all of this, you realize something profoundly freeing. The only person you can count on without hesitation is yourself. This doesn't mean turning away from others. It means showing up for yourself first, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. It means making peace with your boundaries, honoring your needs, and protecting your heart with the same care you once poured into everyone else. You start nurturing yourself with the same dedication you offered others. You celebrate your wins, comfort your losses, and treat your own voice with the respect it deserves. You no longer rely on validation from those who are inconsistent. Instead, you validate yourself. And here's the beauty of this truth. When you choose yourself first, the people who stay in your life do so not out of obligation, not out of guilt, but out of genuine love and respect. Your relationships shift from conditional to sacred. Your energy becomes reserved for authenticity, not drama. Your heart learns the difference between companionship and convenience. So, at 60 and beyond, remember this: the world may change, people may come and go, but you remain. You are the constant, the shelter, the backbone of your own life. Choosing yourself is not selfish. It is survival, it is wisdom, it is freedom. And in that choice, you find the truest form of support you'll ever need.